TJ. Yeah. Straight up. Let's go. Welcome to Straight Up TJ. Tap in, sit back, press replay. But locked in with the Saints on a weekday. Now we talk every sport, every big play. Years on the grind, now we level up the view. From the dome to the world, get a better look at you. No script, just truth when we break it down. Barbershop talk, but we broadcast it loud. Welcome to Straight Up TJ. Straight up. Fresh takes every time a beat play. This ain't your everyday sports cliche. We talk real talk now, what the streets say. Welcome to Straight Up TJ. New wave every week, let it replay. From the Saints to the whole game each day. You tapped in with the truth. Straight Up TJ. Real time talk, yeah, you know that it's live. From the draft to the deals, how the stars really thrive. From the court to the field to the big stage. We gon' cover every angle like a back page. No cap, no spin, just a clear take. If it's weak, we gon' say it, let the fear break. From the city that believe when the odds stack, TJ got the whole sports world in the Welcome to Straight Up TJ. Straight up. Fresh takes every time a beat play. This ain't your everyday sports cliche. We talk real talk now, what the streets say. Welcome to Straight Up TJ. New wave every week, let it replay. From the Saints to the whole game each day. You tapped in with the truth. Straight Up TJ. TJ Jones, turn it up, let it ride. Straight Up TJ. We on your side. New chapter, same grind, same name. Hit play, pull up. Join the gang, join the gang, join the gang. Who that ain't bangin'? Who that ain't bangin'? Who that ain't buying it? No, they ain't feeling that. Jeff wrote another one, fans looking like, what's the deal with that? Tried to paint Kamara like he watched, we ain't hearing that. Put him back in space, watch him shake, watch him kill him fast. Screens disappear, wheel routes gone where the motion at. Running them up middle like he Henry, that ain't where he at. AK still got magic, better use him where the field is vast. Saints fans know the truth, we ain't falling for the Duncan draft. Jeff Duncan dropped the piece, now the city got opinions talking. Move on from Kamara, fans saying he tripping. You can't blame the player when the play calling been missing. Had a cheat code in the backfield, now they use him like he basic. When he first came through, he was catching in the flats. Linebackers frozen, he was gone before they tapped. Wheel route up the sideline, screen pass with the blocks. Now they slam him in the A-gap like he built a movable box. That ain't AK's lane, that ain't how he made his name. He need daylight misdirection, let him cook inside the game. Why we acting like the talent left? The use has been insane. Same old story, different star. Fans peeping that. Who that ain't buying it? No, they ain't feeling that. Jeff wrote another one, fans looking like, what's the deal with that? Tried to paint Kamara like he watched, we ain't hearing that. Put him back in space, watch him shake, watch him kill him fast. Screens disappear, wheel routes gone where the motion at. Running them up middle like he Henry, that ain't where he at. AK still got magic, better use him where the field is vast. Saints fans know the truth, we ain't falling for the Duncan drafts. They remember Mike Thomas, yeah, they seen this before. Same pin, same angle, trying to push him out the door. Fans ain't rocking with it, they been keeping up the score. Like why every time I start down, you gon' twist it even more. This feel like a hit piece, that's what they saying in the streets. From the dome to the timeline, everybody got receipts. Kamara ain't the problem, man, the scheme got him asleep. You don't park a foreign car, then complain it ain't cheap. Give him option routes, motion linebackers in the bind. Let him catch it on the move, not collide with the line. He ain't Derrick Henry, stop pretending that's the design. He a joystick with the vision, let him work and let him shine. Who that nation loud, they ain't quiet with the facts. They seen AK carry, they ain't turning on fast. Before you say he done, better check how he been tasked. A weapon out of rhythm, still a weapon with a chance. Who that ain't buying it, nah, they ain't feeling that. Jeff wrote another one, fans looking like, what's the deal with that? Tried to paint Kamara like he watched, we ain't hearing that. Put him back in space, watch him shake, watch him kill him fast. Screens disappear, wheel routes gone where the motion at. Running them up middle like he Henry, that ain't where he at. AK still got magic, better use him where the field is vast. Saints fans know the truth, we ain't falling for the Duncan draft.
going on? What's going on? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. Thank you so much for checking out another edition of the Straight Up TJ podcast, where we get you lit before we even say a word. You did. What's going on? I hope everybody's having a good evening so far. As you file in, I ask that you hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel to grow. And as y'all can see, who that nation ain't buying it. They ain't feeling that. Jeff wrote another one. Fans looking like, what's the deal with that? They ain't trying to paint Kamara like he washed. We ain't hearing that. Put him back in space. Watch him shake. Watch him kill him fast. Man, y'all know what it is, man. Alvin Kamara has reworked a deal with the New Orleans Saints. He will be back in New Orleans in 2026. So despite the article that came out a few weeks ago by everybody's favorite columnist, Jeff Duncan, it seems as if the New Orleans Saints will bring AK back to New Orleans. And I have to say, I am absolutely not surprised by this whatsoever. I am not surprised at all. Shouts out to Teron Armstead. Shouts out to Nick Underhill for breaking the news earlier this afternoon. If you're watching this on a Wednesday, they broke the news saying that the Saints have come up with a deal. We reworked the contract of Alvin Kamara, and now Alvin Kamara will be in the Saints backfield in 2026. I'm just glad that they got it done. I'm glad they got it done. I'm glad that they worked it out. And, despite what people may have thought, maybe Alvin Kamara going to another team, Saints trying to trade him away, I guess like the dissension between the organization and Alvin Kamara. Look, it just seems like everybody was able to get on the same page. And the New Orleans Saints, despite what a lot of people may say, they seem to take care of their homegrown guys. Sometimes it's to a detriment, but they care about their players, especially when those players have given their all to the organization. And now we see Alvin Kamara back in New Orleans. It just makes sense. Now, some people probably say, as I put the graphic up on the screen, some people will say, well, what the heck does this mean for Travis Etienne? It means absolutely nothing. All right. I mean, this means absolutely nothing to Travis Etienne. And this is something that I have said on shows past. Alvin Kamara is not a selfish football player. Alvin Kamara is not one of those superstars that just read his press clippings and say, I deserve this, I deserve that. Even when Alvin Kamara comes out and he wants to restructure a contract, that's why it makes so much noise, because Alvin Kamara, he kind of grins and bears a lot of things that have been going on within the Saints organization. So when he speaks out, when he speaks up, I mean, it seems to carry more weight. If a guy was sitting out there just constantly putting stuff out for the media to be able to grab, I mean, it probably wouldn't hit home as much. But Alvin Kamara is, a guy that has really, been a soldier on the front line for the New Orleans Saints. So, it's only right that he finishes his career. And it's not going to be one of those situations where I just think that Alvin Kamara is just going to be, upset if the Saints are not utilizing him as a run in between the tackles, every down running back at this stage of his career. Alvin is probably at, I just want to do my job. Let me do what I do. Let the young bull, be that feature back, and, and I'll provide service, to him, and we can be, a really good duo. So, we don't know what the restructure, the changes were to his contract as of right now, but to know that Alvin Kamara will be back in 2026 is a plus. Now, you got some other guys on this team at the running back position, like Devin Neal, like Kendre Miller, like Ty Chandler, like Archie Estime. They might have to take a back seat on a few snaps, but I don't think it's to a point where, these guys won't be an integral part of the offense. It is going to be one of those situations where one of these guys are going to be the odd man out. I mean, you're not going to have these many running backs that are going to be available to you on Sunday. So somebody's going to be the odd man out. We'll get into that in a few weeks. We know who we feel is probably going to make the roster, who's going to be a part of that rotation. But as of right now, Alvin Kamara back with the New Orleans Saints will be there in 2026. And, I don't know what the future holds for AK. I don't know what it's going to be after 2026, but to know that he's going to be here in New Orleans, to know that Calvin Jordan is going to be here in New Orleans. It's good to know that, and it's good to see. So congratulations. Glad that they were able to work it out. Glad that all of the conversations were had, and, you know, all the fences have been mended as of right now, where the New Orleans Saints can have a formidable backfield with Etienne and Kamara. Thank you so much for being here. Those that just filed in, I ask that you hit the like button. Also, make sure that you check out the Sleeper Saints podcast. Shouts out to everybody. We hit 400 subscribers on last week. That channel is growing really fast. And a special shout out to each and every one of you that have subscribed. But it is a weekly podcast with yours truly, sponsored by Sleeper. Shouts out to Sleeper for appointing me as the representative of the New Orleans Saints for the 2026 season, and, you know, basically leading the charge on the channel. But make sure that y'all check it out. Let me know what you think. A lot of positive feedback, but make sure that you tune in. We do shorts, we do videos every single week, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the content that your boy put out. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's get into the chat. Very, very simple. For those that are new, just stumbled across this channel, all you got to do is put your comments in the chat if you want to tap in.
Yeah. Tap in. Straight up TJ on the mic. If you with me, let me know. Drop your name in the chat tonight. I want that real talk, not a ghost. Say what get you the most. If you vibing, make it loud. We can run it back, go coast to coast. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. If you feel that, yeah, run it right back. Put your comments in the chat. We would like to hear from you. Straight up TJ, tap in. Straight up TJ, tap in. Put your comments in the chat. Let the whole room see it too. Straight up TJ, tap in. Straight up TJ, tap
in. Yeah. Very, very simple. All you have to do is put your comments in the chat to tap in. All right, let me go ahead and read some of these comments here. And we'll start off at random here. We'll start off with Who That Records. Always got something interesting to say. Bring back Jake for quarterback number 1. He will take us to the playoffs. I like Jake, man. Y'all already know, but that ain't the move, bro. That ain't the move. Jeremiah says, where's Jeff Duncan haters at? I don't know where they at, man. But, you know, man, it was just one of those situations where, you know, Saints fans weren't going to agree with that. And, you know, to Jeff's defense, that is his personal assessment about the situation based on, like, the information that has been given to him. He's entitled to his opinion. But, you know, a lot of fans feel like, you know, maybe that's a little bit of a direct shot towards Alvin Kamara. You know, you had players like Cam Jordan speaking out. Not a good look. Not a good look. That song was fire. Thank you, Keno. I don't know which one you're talking about, man, but shouts out to my boy Kid Khalil, you know what I'm saying, handling business once again. Let's see, having that journalist at the end was genius, TJ. Yeah, I mean, look, man, I just you know, I just try to bring something to the table, just want to entertain everybody. I want to have fun. You know, we get into all these different, you know, talks, you know, that are sports related, but we also want to have fun here, man. You already know, man. For those been rocking here for a long time, you already know where we've been, where we at, and we just continue to try to build and try to give people a fun experience, man, an engaging experience. Like, find folks in the chat making the show what it is here this evening. All right, so says never care for Duncan or Holder. Look, man, I've had Jeff Duncan on a podcast a couple of years ago. I mean, he was always kind to me. He was, you know, and I ain't really, you know, there's some things I disagree with when it comes to Jeff Duncan. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he writes. I mean, that just kind of, you know, comes with the territory. But, you know, like that's just the way that it is, man. But I will say this, you know, a lot of people would, you know, look at this as a hit piece. And, you know, when, you know, I created the song and wrote it, who that ain't buying it, I kind of had that in mind, like based on like some of the things that were said about Michael Thomas and, those type of stories coming out. Some people may think that's a direct shot. And then when you have players like coming out, man, it just kind of put everything together as if maybe they feel in the same way a lot of Saints fans do. So at the end of the day, he's entitled to his opinion, but some people would look at some of the articles that are written and make it feel like it's a direct shot. What up? Let's see. What's up? What up? Who that nation? What's going on, Varnell? The Varnell man. Hey, speaking of Varnell, man, y'all heard about the new new sitcom about to come out, directed by Martin Lawrence and Tommy Davidson, the Varnell Hill Show. It's gonna be on BET. That should be interesting. I wonder what they're gonna do with that. Let's see. Kamara showing up to minicamp was a power move. Yeah, man, it was more like, look, if you got something to say it to my face, all right? You got a problem with me, say it to me now. Like Juba said back in the day. If you got a problem, say it to me now. All right. He came out there, to minicamp, dapped everybody up, talked to the cafeteria workers and everybody that work within the building, because AK synonymous with airline. And they probably talked it out and probably just started the conversations. And maybe that's just all was needed. Like sometimes, man, you think that somebody believes a certain way and you believe a certain way, and then y'all start having conversations, and it may not be as bad as people may think. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that was just the start of, the whole healing process, because it seemed like, I look, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit, and let's just think about Tyrann Mathieu's comments, right? Because all of this kind of stems from where Tyrann Mathieu did his podcast. And, he came out with the little information saying that, some people within the organization were upset, at Alvin Kamara and feel like he spearheaded the charge to get Dennis Allen fired. And we all know that Mickey Loomis did not want to fire Dennis Allen. I mean, we know when Dennis Allen was fired, Mickey Loomis kind of wrote a statement, but there was some salt in that statement. I mean, you can taste the salt. All right, it was like somebody that was cooking with a heavy hand. You ever met somebody or had some of their cooking and somebody heavy-handed with the seasoning, and you can just taste, like, you can't really taste the food because the seasoning, like, just that's basically what it was with the letter. I mean, he just basically put it out there, but you can tell he wasn't happy about it. So you have Alvin Kamara, the guy who they look at as spearheading the charge, and all that stemmed from that. So maybe there was some fences that needed to be mended, but I'm glad that they did, but that's the New Orleans Saints, man. We know that the New Orleans Saints, for better or for worse, sometimes they take care of their veterans, man, and they keep them around, and they try to keep them around as long as possible, man. Part of some packages. Let's see. AK can't play offensive line. No, he cannot. No, he cannot. Let's see. Miller is on his way out. Maybe Chandler. I look at Ty Chandler, and I look at him being a contributor on special teams. Right? I think that they're gonna probably try to use him on special teams. I look at Kendre Miller, and I've been saying this. It has nothing to do with Kendre Miller's talent. If Kendre can stay healthy, it's gonna be one of those cautionary tales, said if he can't, like what if, right? The best that never was, back in the day. I believe his name was Marcus Dupree, the running back from Oklahoma. But Kendre Miller is a very talented running back. And it's probably going to be one of those situations where it's like Trey Hendrickson. Right? Trey Hendrickson, he had like 13 sacks on his way out the door. And, the Saints didn't really look at him as a high valued free agent. They didn't feel like he was worth the investment. And since Trey Hendrickson left the New Orleans Saints, I mean, he had 17 and a half sacks in 2 straight seasons, right? And now he's with the Baltimore Ravens. So it's probably going to be one of those situations if Kendre Miller stays healthy. It's going to be one of those things where he goes to another team, he balls the hell out, and Saints fans are mad and be wondering what the hell that was in New Orleans. Like, he is talented, man. I'm telling you, like, if you go back to his time at TCU, Like you see what the New Orleans Saints saw, but unfortunately, you can't make the club in the tub. And homeboy had the rubber ducky in his hand way too long. You know what I'm saying? Like he been in the tub too long, man. And like he talented. Don't get me wrong, he talented, bro. But like I said, can't be in that tub too long, man. All right. You ever been in the tub too long? You got them wrinkled toes, them wrinkled hands, right? Rubber ducky on deck, man. TJ, I'm betting that restructure is 2 years, 11 million, with most of it in incentives. Yeah, well, whatever it is, man, I'm just glad that they got it worked out. I'm just glad that they got it worked out, man. I'm not upset about that. All right, so I'm happy that they got something worked out, and it ain't to a point where everybody just can't get along. TJ, your opening song said it perfectly. Just because you use a guy incorrectly in your scheme is not indicative of him being washed or over the hill. AK had some really nice plays last year. Yeah, I agree with that, man. Look, it's the way that you utilize a guy, right? I don't care how talented he is. If you don't utilize a guy, to his strengths, nobody ever see it. And, that's why, like, sometimes, I have to, like, hold some of these members of the Who Dat Nation accountable, because the thing about it is we see how a player is utilized, right? How they can go from being utilized a certain way that caters to their strength, and then maybe they, the team gets a new coach or they get a new coordinator, and then all of a sudden you don't see the player being utilized the way that you have fell in love with that player, watching them do their thing. The wheel routes, right? The angle routes, the screen passes, all those things seem to disappear with the New Orleans Saints over the last 3 to 4 years, and everybody just want to tie this whole Alvin Kamara situation. Well, not everybody, but you have some Saints fans that want to tie this up in a whole Alvin Kamara is washed bow, and that is totally unfair, man. That is totally unfair. If we're going to sit up here and have a conversation about how stagnant the Saints offense has been, or the lack of talent on the offensive side of football, or the cohesiveness of the offense or lack thereof, if we can have those type of conversations, then why can't we admit to ourselves that maybe what we're actually seeing and what is leaving a bad taste in our mouths is the fact that the team isn't utilizing their skill players correctly. And Alvin Kamara hasn't been used correctly. Can Alvin Kamara run in between the tackles? Yes, he can, but that's not his strength. You don't ask a player of his caliber that can catch the ball like a wide receiver, or make somebody miss on on the outside in space, and all of a sudden you want to turn him into Earl Campbell or Derrick Henry. Like, what the hell are we doing? And look, I get it, man, because everybody want to feel like, oh man, the organization making the right decisions. It's the players. No, man, come on, man. You watched enough football to know that there's sometimes it is the players' fault, right? Maybe they're not, looking at their Microsoft tablet enough, right? Maybe they're not understanding what is asked of them offensively. But you do know when a player is talented, and when those particular skills that has made that player a household name is no longer a part of the scheme, what do you think is going to happen? So that sucks, man. Like, it's crazy that people just want to tie this up with a whole AK is washed boat. AK is not washed. If the Saints can maybe look at some of the things that have made Alvin Kamara successful throughout his career and utilize him in that way, then you'll probably see a much better version of Alvin Kamara. We want to be having these type of conversations. But in my opinion, with all due respect, the Saints have wasted at least 3 years of Alvin Kamara's career, not utilizing him the way that he should be utilized. It's amazing. Like, everybody thought Christian McCaffrey was washed when he was with the Carolina Panthers. He gets traded to the 49ers, aligns with Kyle Shanahan, and God dog. I mean, now, like, man, like, he went in offensive player of the year, household name, Madden cover boy. It's amazing what can happen when you actually align a player with a coach that actually knows what the hell they're doing and utilize them the way that they need to be utilized. But I mean, I guess that's another story for another day. All right. To say, do you think AK will be happy with a shortened role. Yeah, because Alvin Kamara doesn't care. Like, I'm telling you, the way that this dude moves, he moves like a superstar in which I've never really seen. Like, you have to like go to like Barry Sanders. Like, you got to go back to like those days to find somebody like that. Like, he cares about, you know, his production on the field, like when he's out there and what he's trying to do. But if they're saying, okay, look, we're going to bring another guy into the backfield to alleviate some of the carries off of you, the wear and tear at this stage of his career, he's going to be okay with it. Just like, think about this. Think about this. All right. So a couple of years back, more than a couple of years back, y'all remember when Reggie Bush left the New Orleans Saints? And Reggie Bush, his whole goal was to show the entire NFL world that the Saints did not utilize him enough as a running back, right? They kind of just used him like in space and, you know, on the outside. And, you know, I mean, look at him at like toss plays, stretch plays, what have you, right? But he wanted to be looked at and valued as a running back, right? So his goal, leaving the New Orleans Saints, he wanted to get 1,000 yards, right? And he ended up getting 1,000 yards. He had a really good season with the Miami Dolphins. Like, he was looking real good, went over 1,000 yards. You know, a lot of people just like, oh man, maybe, you know, Sean Payton wasn't really utilizing him. Maybe he could have had a better career, yada, yada, yada. But let's go and fast forward to Alvin Kamara. Now, Alvin Kamara had 950 yards going into the last game of the season. We all know that the Saints would have fed this man like he ain't eaten 2 weeks in order for him to get those 1,000 yards. Alvin Kamara was dealing with a groin injury. Did Alvin Kamara go out there and say, man, I can go out here, man, I fight through it so I can get these 50 yards? No, he was like, I'm not healthy enough. I don't want to hurt the team by me not being fully healthy or jeopardizing my career for that. I mean, it'd be great to get 1,000 yards, but that's not what I'm on right now. When you're talking about a player that had an opportunity, closest as he has ever been to getting 1,000 yards in the season, and decides to just chill and heal up his body, that tells you everything you need to know about a guy. I mean, he's an unselfish player. Like, he wants to succeed. You know, you want to like achieve certain goals, but it's not his hill to die on. And a lot of times players' egos get in the way of their success because they may have to, you know, take a few snaps off in order for them to be fresh down the stretch as they get older and deeper into their career. And you know, and if you're sitting up there, you know, I'm still like rocking like I'm 22 years old, man, you might end up hurting the team. So Alvin Kamara, to me, like, no, he will not have an issue. He will not have a problem with sharing up the backfield. I think he would invite that because he understands, like, the more threats that you have in the backfield, like, the better you will actually be throughout the season. And if we're talking about everybody, you know, getting, you know, being a part of this offense, and you get some of the young players involved, then we're talking about November, December, where you really need your top players to be performing at a high level, because now we're getting closer to the postseason. Now we're talking about who's going to win their respective division. If you can have more hands on deck, your stars that are available, and not looking for practice squad guys to go out there and be Megatron, then you have a better chance of actually getting to the playoffs, winning your division. So, you know, that's a plus. So Alvin Kamara, to me, like, just Alvin Kamara signing with the New Orleans Saints and reworking his deal, you know, and doing what he needed, that tells you everything he needs to know. Because it's not like Alvin Kamara couldn't sign or be traded and go to another team and they wouldn't want him. Like, anybody that believes that, like, you're insane. Like, you're insane if you just think, oh man, nobody wants Alvin Kamara. Like, Alvin wants to be in New Orleans. He likes being in New Orleans. And I think Saints fans should be happy that he isn't that type of superstar that, you know, gives you headaches constantly and, you know, and not, you know what I'm saying, not willing to do what is for the best interests of the team and more looking at themselves every single time. Like, that's good to have a guy who is a superstar, but carries himself like, man, I'm doing what's best for the team. I hope he will going to play on our team in 2026 with tight ends on the field and the rest of them offense linemen. Yeah, if the offensive line can be okay this season, I think the Saints will be fine. It just, man, they had so much bad luck on this offensive line, man, over the last couple of years. Like, they couldn't get the guard position together. Left tackle, they finally got that together with Calvin Banks. And now you got the right tackle situation with Tallahassee, right? Still, we're trying to look for replacement for Teron Armstead and Ryan Ramczyk. Still trying to find some guys that can help out at guard. Cesar E's still looking like a liability. He said that he put some work in this offseason. We'll see. But the New Orleans Saints have had so much bad luck, man, and so much inconsistent play on the offensive line. To now it seems like, okay, man, you got your anchors on the left and the right side. If they can hold up and then you bring in David Edwards. I feel like some stability is going to be there at left guard. And, Eric McCoy, who has dealt with some injuries, but we all know what Eric can be if he's healthy. Cesar Ruiz, man, it's time to put up a shut up, or, maybe you'll see Jeremiah Wright sooner rather than later. If the New Orleans Saints offensive line can stay intact, it just seemed like they can never play together. They start the season week 1, and then the next thing somebody out for 11 weeks, right? And then another player gets hurt, and then you have to bring in 2 offensive linemen, and now you have 2 backup offensive linemen, and they trying to figure it out. So they just need consistency on the offensive line. Like, every offensive line go through hardships, and it's tough for a lot of these offensive linemen to play an entire season together because, those guys are battling in the trenches. People rolling over their ankles and, man, people falling all on them and stuff like that. It's tough. But if they can just stay together for a large sample size of the season versus like, okay, they missing a left guard and a center by week 5, like, not going to win like that. Not going to win like that, man. Let's see. Not sure why folks looking AK as option 2 is a foreign concept when that's the role he has allowed him to shine the most. Look, he has shined as a feature back too. I'm not going to just say that he hasn't, but Alvin Kamara like shines when he is a compliment, right? When it's like him and somebody else, and that's okay. Like I look at Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, right? David Montgomery isn't in Detroit anymore. They got Isaiah Pacheco. You got somebody that he can probably feed off of, right? If you've seen Isaiah Pacheco run, he's a smaller guy, but he's really physical, right? So he can kind of match that style that David Montgomery ran with. And then Jahmyr Gibbs can kind of be his Swiss Army, catch the ball out the backfield, run between the tackles self, right? I just think that, I just think that running backs thrive when they have somebody to complement them. Like, you still can be a star, you still can be an impactful player, but you need that other guy behind you to kind of alleviate some of that pressure and give the team a change of pace. Like Kenneth Walker in Seattle. Like, yeah, Kenneth Walker like came alive, when Zach Charbonnet went down, but for the most of the season, Zach Charbonnet and him was getting busy. You know what I'm saying? On the football field. You know what I'm saying? Both of them was like running, really well. Zach Charbonnet, short yardage guy, right? Getting those first downs. Kenneth Walker, home run hitter. You need those guys that can complement each other versus like trying to get a running back that carry the ball over 400 times a season, man. That's a lot of wear and tear. That's a lot of just a lot of punishment being absorbed. So if you can get yourself like a couple like running backs in your stable, man, you'll be all right. You'll be okay. I gave Jay Carroll 24 hours talking about Jake Haener being quarterback 1, and he's not on the team. Yeah, man, look, Jake Haener is not here anymore. He's not with the Saints. And, man, where's Jake Haener the best? I don't know where he is right now. I believe he's in Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken, if he's still with them. But, I wish him the best. Just didn't work out, man. But I think that Jake Haener will probably end up being a coach somewhere. And I've said that from the beginning. What are your thoughts about Alvin Kamara's future on our team to play in 2026? Well, I mean, based on this rework, he's going to be with the New Orleans Saints. So at least you got that going. I mean, past 2026, I mean, that's a different conversation. TJ, you remember Brian Westbrook and Deuce Staley, AK and Mark were like that. I say he and Etienne will be similar. Yeah. I mean, you have yourself a good compliment to one another, and if you can have that, man, you can have success on the offensive side of football. And look, I want the running game of the Saints to look like something because it helps out the passing game. It's going to be really tough if the Saints can't run the football. It's going to be tough for Tyler Shuck to be able to rise above that, especially when you add the fact that people are now, woke up from the whole Tyler Shuck situation where, people probably weren't giving him time of day, really didn't think that much of him. So, teams are going to be giving him the respect that he has earned by, having a solid rookie campaign. So you got to be able to have a running game that accompanies him. And I think the New Orleans Saints are doing a good job because although eventually they want Tyler Shuck to emerge as that star quarterback and be that leader of the team, they know right now he's still trying to figure it out. And asking a guy going into a sophomore season to be that leader and just carry a team on its back, I just think that that's just a tall ask. But if you allow that quarterback to have a supporting cast, right? Getting some guys that if you get the ball to them, they can make somebody miss and maybe, make some plays in space. Like you have all these different players that can do a multifaceted of things, it helps the quarterback. So having a good running attack could help Tyler Shuck in that offense, in the passing game. So hopefully that can happen. Let me scroll back up a little bit. Make sure like you hit the like button. For those that have not, please subscribe to the channel. Straight Up TJ podcast here. And it says, will Kellen use 21 Pony a lot this year? The two-back system with Travis and AK in the backfield together. Hey, we'll see, man. Maybe he'll use some splits. I don't know. Maybe he'll use some splits. Not a bad idea, though. Not a bad idea at all. I still need us to get one more corner. Yeah, I think you can definitely use, you can never have too many good corners. I mean, I think that's a position where you need some depth because that's a position where guys can go down easy, pause, and, if you don't have a good backup that's available, I mean, it can be, it can be a horror movie out there. It can be a horror movie out there. Video was fire. I appreciate that, B Creo. Appreciate that, man. Says, I believe AK will do what is asked of him as always. Everything depends on the O-line play. Can our backs get 1 yard past the line? For real, man. Can the offensive line improve? If the offensive line improve, I think you'll be okay. You say wishbone formation. Wait, 1995? Got the Les Miles offense. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Facts, bro. The line has been doo-doo. Yeah, it hasn't been good, man. And look, even offensive line, if they're being honest, they would have to admit that to themselves. But a lot of them will probably say, man, if they can stay healthy, and that's the thing, man. If this offensive line can stay healthy, can these guys stay healthy? Can they stay healthy? That's what we need to know. If you can't stay healthy, you're gonna have some issues. Gonna have more issues than Spider-Man. Say, bro, LOL, I will not give Mickey Loomis credit if I don't hear anything. Look, man, Mick is look, the front office has done some really good things. I mean, we can't like knock them too much. They have done some things that the Who Dat Nation has asked for, trying to get younger. The Saints have become a younger football team. They seem like, they drafted some players this past draft that can catch the ball, that can make some plays. They seem like they got a stud on the offensive line, two of them, two young guys and Tallahassee and Calvin Banks. So they're doing a good job. You know, like you can't really criticize them too much, you know, over the last few seasons. Like I just think that some of the blowback by Saints fans was warranted because, you know, I stand by this. The front office fell asleep at the wheel. I just think that they kind of took a victory lap way too long. I think that Saints fans were happy during those glory years, you know, when Sean Payton and Drew Brees were around. But, you know, people just kind of took off those rose-colored sunglasses, right? And they just realized, man, the Saints ain't did nothing in a few years. And it's time for y'all to try to make something happen. And they held the front office and ownership's foot to the fire. And they responded. Credit to them. But hopefully it doesn't have to come to this anymore. Like you constantly try to build. You can't rest on your laurels. Like you got to go out there and handle your business. If you can't handle your business, then you're gonna keep on being in the same situation. So hopefully it won't be this way, and fans can be excited about the product that they see. Instead of just like basically just pure allegiance and love just bringing you to the couch on Sunday. Like, you know, the love for the New Orleans Saints brings people to their couch, right? I mean, but nobody want to feel like, oh man, it's like watching paint dry, watching their favorite team. Like they want to be excited. They want to have something to cheer about. And the state of the Saints over the last couple of years has not been good. But credit to the front office, man. They really have tried to do some things to improve the team. If Travis and Alvin Kamara are staying healthy on the field and Tyler Shuck rested in offensive players with chemistry or offensive weapons at this point, yeah, if they can all stay healthy, man, the Saints should be formidable, you know, and they should be a good football team if everything works out. Tyler working out with Drew Brees is awesome, man. If Tyler is half of Drew Brees, we are about to run it up. Look, I had a show on the last episode. We kind of talked a little bit about Tyler Shuck getting with the wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends, and going out to San Diego to work out with Drew Brees. And look, that just tells you everything you need to know about Tyler Shuck. He wants to get better. He wants to be the leader that the Saints need him to be. And he's just trying to do everything he can within his power to try to get better. And that's all you can really ask for. Like a quarterback that is willing to be in the trenches, that is loyal, dependable, and people can look at it and be like, man, that's my quarterback. And, you know, the Saints have missed the mark, you know, the last couple of years, you know, with Derek Carr. Derek Carr never felt like the New Orleans Saints quarterback. He just always just felt like a guy who the Saints just kind of borrowed to fill that role. It's almost like a stand-in on Broadway, right? You know, like you think about, you know, all of these famous, you know, actors like Fences, right? When Denzel Washington, right? Or you know, James Earl Jones. Like that's a good one. James Earl Jones was on Broadway, and he was in the Broadway show Fences by August Wilson. Now he is synonymous with that, right? Now just imagine James Earl Jones, like I don't know, his understudy just comes up in there, just some random guy. Like James Earl Jones can't be here tonight, but standing in is Willie Earl Thomas. Like, who the hell is Willie Earl Thomas? Like nobody, you know, like you're not going to get the same type of performance as a James Earl Jones. Like everybody's excited, right? Man, I wanted to see James Earl do this tonight, right? I didn't want to see, you know, Willie Earl Thomas do this. So what I'm saying is Derek Carr felt like Willie Earl Thomas, right? I mean, he was the guy that just kind of just stood in and played the role of the Saints quarterback and just never fit, man. It was like, I don't know, man. It was like some shoes that were 2 sizes too small for you. You know what I'm saying? Like the shoes probably look pretty doggone good, man, but they just don't fit. Just don't fit. You know, like it just didn't fit. And now it just seems like Tyler Shuck is trying to be that quarterback. And I will say this: the best thing that has ever happened to Tyler Shuck in his football life was the fact that he was able to come to the New Orleans Saints knowing what not to do, because Derek Carr did everything that you shouldn't do to be the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Like seriously, like, and I'm pretty sure Tyler Shuck, looked at that like, that ain't happening to me. Like Tyler Shuck out here with some Wrangler jeans on, cowboy hat, out here with a baseball Savannah banana jersey on. I mean, I don't know. I wonder if this brother gets some sleep. I'm like, I bet this, he be walking out the door. Wife be like, hey, Tyler, where you going? Well, I'm going to the rodeo tonight. Hey, Tyler, where you going? I'm going to this baseball game tonight. Tyler, like, man, y'all ain't about to say that. I'm fickle, man. I'm in the trenches. I mean, he is doing everything that he can in order to try to let Saints fans know that he wants to be their quarterback. And that's all Saints fans ask for. If you show love to New Orleans, I say this all the time. If you show love to New Orleans, to Saints fans, they will love you back. I don't care if you are the best player on the team or you had a minimal role. They will still love you. They will still love you. There are Saints players that weren't even really that good. But if they rolled to the city, they wouldn't have to pay a dime at some of these restaurants because of a play that they made or a feeling that they gave somebody. But if you rub New Orleans the wrong way, if you rub Saints fans the wrong way, yeah, they'll never forgive you. It's going to be hard for you to get back into their good graces, man. It's about loyalty in New Orleans. It's about loyalty, man. And if you show any type of, disloyalty to the city, hard for you to get back that love, man. Don't want to jinx it, but the trainer kept the team healthy for most part of last season, relatively speaking. Yeah, I mean, that's because they were paying attention to analytics. I mean, it's amazing what you can do when you pay attention to analytics, right? Pay attention to some of this technology that's going on and not just looking at it like, oh, that's young people stuff, right? It's amazing. It's amazing what can happen when you can go to a app and it can tell you how many miles that a player ran that equated to their practice performance in a week, right? It's amazing, right? It's amazing what you could do. Like when you look at some of these guys, like strength and conditioning program, right? Have them on some type of plan where they can work out different parts of their bodies where they can be strong enough to be able to absorb the punishment. It's amazing what you can do, right? When you get the right people in the building to pay attention to those things and not just telling people to put some dirt on it or looking at them sideways because you ran them into the ground because your job in jeopardy. And, now all of a sudden, like, okay, man, I need you to give me everything that you got, right? You treat players with love, they're going to treat you with love. And if you want to keep these players upright, man, you got to take care of them. Because if you don't, then we're going to be having these conversations like, why these players always hurt? TJ, being comfortable with the way things were is exactly why we feel AK last few seasons were a dumpster fight. It's because the front office held on to the Payton era too long, cost us success. It cost them success. I get it, man. Nobody wants to let go of a good thing, right? Nobody wants to let go of a good thing. If a good thing leaves you, it is hard for you to be able to bounce back and be like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to move on. But it was a great time. And it was so great because Saints fans didn't experience what they experienced over those 15, 16 years. But you got to constantly evolve, man. That's just like Seattle, right? Seattle had Pete Carroll all those years. They went to the Super Bowl twice with Pete Carroll as their quarterback, as their head coach, Russell Wilson as their quarterback. They went to the Super Bowl twice, Legion of Boom, right? Then all of a sudden, they go to the Super Bowl a third time with Mike McDonald as their head coach. Young guy. Wait, Mike McDonald, maybe 38, 39 years old. New quarterback, Sam Darnold, right? You ain't got the same defense that you had when Earl Thomas and Richard Sherman, and Cam Chancellor and all them cats was back there. Like, you don't have the same team. But credit to Seattle. Like, they changed the guard. They, brought in some younger players, and they made that thing work. Like, you got to constantly evolve, man. You can't be like, oh, man, we won this year. Man, we're so close. We're so close. Like, come on, bruh. Like, come on, man. Like, you got to change it up. You got to change the style up. Like, and a lot of teams, they find success because they're willing to, adapt. If you feel like the same old song and dance and the same philosophy is going to constantly work for you, and maybe it did earlier, right? But now it's like you have to do something completely different. And credit to New Orleans Saints, they did do something different. I mean, they got a young coach in Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore brought in his guys. It seemed like he's trying to build the team and structure the team the way that he wants to put it. And look, I don't know what's going to happen with Kellen Moore. We don't know, but he deserves to build the team the way that he wants to structure it, whether it works out or not. TJ, I wore my Kamara jersey after the deal was done earlier to Vacation Bible School. Look, man, I know a lot of people excited about that, man. So look, it ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You can praise the Lord and be happy about the rework, right? Happy about AK we work, and then you're gonna be happy about how the Lord is reworking in your life. Amen. Amen. All right, there we go. Says we get to see Rams in preseason. Yeah, you get to see the Rams in preseason, man. You know, maybe, you know, if the Saints can win some games, you'll probably see them in the postseason too. Our Saints fans, the modern eras are, man, when you only seen success, like you only just remember like team being successful, like you can't really knock Saints fans for like feeling the way that they do. Like Saints fans that watch the team like from 2006 because they grew up during that time, and then they look at the team now, like, you know, it just certain expectations, right? That came with them watching those Saints. And you know, I said, you know, I watched the Saints before they was really good, and you know, now when I look at them now, it's like they not very good, but they not like how they were when I was a kid. Like I mean, the Saints were like the Saints were unwatchable. Like I'm serious, man. Like man, it was bad right there, bro. It was like one of them times where, you know, my grandfather, for those that don't know, is a minister. We used to go to church every Sunday. It was one of them times where you just glad, you know, you're in church because, you know, it's going to be like the third or fourth quarter by the time you get out of church. And, you know, like the Saints probably going to be losing by 2 touchdowns. Like you actually shocked. I would look, my grandmother, you know, I'm about to lose some of y'all, but my grandmother used to have a VCR. And you remember, like, for some of you probably know what I'm talking about. You remember like when VCRs used to have timers on it? All right, so we used to like put the timer on there to record it, you know, the Saints game, first half of the game or whatever like that. But I would always turn the TV off. I'll always turn it off. Of course, it can still record while it's off, but I would turn it off on purpose. So when I walk into the house after we get out of church, I would take a deep breath, turn the TV on, and, you know, like a little brief moment where the TV just pops on, you know, like, man, let them be winning. Most of the time, it didn't happen. Saints down by 2 touchdowns. Saints getting beat to sleep by Kurt Warner and the Rams. Like, it was, yeah, man, it was just one of them things where it's like, man, you had to really be a true Saints fan back in them days, boy. But some of you, like, you have the benefit of really not knowing those times. Like, it's bad, but I'm telling you, it was terrible back in them days. Like the Saints didn't have no hope back in them days. TJ, I got my tickets to training camp, and that's good, Jerry. Happy to hear that, man. I hope that you're excited about it. I know a lot of Saints fans are excited, like since they posted the dates. So, yeah, man, go out there and you know, say who that, man, one time. Get everybody excited. Start a chant. Training camp wars, Wright versus Young. Talking about Jeremiah Wright. Look, I think that it's gonna be Jeremiah. If we're talking about Jeremiah Wright, which I think that's who you're talking about. Yeah, I think that he needs to compete with Cesar Ruiz, and everything I'm hearing about Jeremiah Wright telling me like, dude, trending in the right direction. But I ain't gonna sleep on Torres Simpkins either, man. I mean, that young kid showed something. That kid showed something. So hopefully, like he can put it all together, and he can you know, be a part of the rotation. Can't remember since we've been good at every point on offense. That's the TJ. The Saints did exactly what we've been wanting since 2019, which is get a talented guy and go all out building around him. That's how you make sure, yep, you're competent in the league. Yeah, I mean, look, Saints fans have been wanting this for a very long time, and it just seems like Tyler Shuck is the quarterback that the Saints need. Now, like I said, there's a lot of excitement around Tyler Shuck. You got to go out there and perform, man. You got to go out there and perform. And we seen guys have a really dominant rookie campaign or really look good their rookie season. And then sophomore season, third year, man, it just seemed like they falling from grace. Like CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud looked like a straight dog his rookie year. I mean, we seen him roll up with Amber Rose. He ain't been right since, right? Jaden Daniels, not only was flirting with offensive player of the year, rookie offensive player of the year. I mean, he was actually getting MVP votes. And then his second season, man, he couldn't stay healthy on the field. I mean, RG3, we seen him have a monster rookie season. Got hurt. I'm not saying, I don't want to see the guy get hurt, but there are players that, they have those monster rookie years, and then all of a sudden they just can't replicate that. So he has to go out there and he has to prove it. But it seems like the New Orleans Saints believe in him. Like that whole draft this year shows you that the New Orleans Saints believe in Tyler Shuck. Take a few more, and then we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Says it was so bad they didn't play Saints games in Lake Charles. We had to watch the Cowboys, listen to a bunch of Saints radio back then. I tell people all the time, that's the reason I got into broadcasting in the first place. That's the reason why I got into broadcasting, because the Saints games most of the time were blacked out, and I used to have to listen to Jim Henderson and Hoagie Gajan on WWL to know what the heck was going on with the Saints. Like back in the day, like your team did not come on TV, right? I mean, if you didn't sell a certain amount of tickets, they did not put you on TV because they didn't want the cameras to show those empty seats. But now, the NFL got so much money. I mean, they got hand and fist full of dough. They don't have to worry about that. So no matter how trash your team is, you'll be able to watch them every single Sunday. But it was hard to watch, man. You had to really be a true Saints fan back in them days to stomach that stuff. Because you knew going into the season, like, the Saints weren't going nowhere. I was part of that hate to watch times when teams was happy to play us, knowing it was an automatic win. Yeah, man. I mean, I grew up in New Orleans where people would make fun of you for wearing a Saints starter jacket. I'm serious. Like, if you had a Saints starter jacket on, people would rip you at school, right? I mean, it was like, man, I'm supporting the team, but man, people will clown you, like, for having a Saints starter on, or like, man, what you got that on? Them boys ain't winning nothing. I'm telling you, it was rough back in them days, man. Being a Saints fan was an acquired taste because you had a lot of the OGs. They were Cowboy fans and 49er fans because Joe Montana and Troy Aikman them back in the day. But yeah, man. But you had to stay true to the team. But it was some tough times, and over the last 4 to 5 years, it seemed like it's been some tough time for the Saints. But I will say this: they did not look at any point over these last 4 to 5 seasons like they did back in them 90s. I'm telling you. I remember them blackout games. Yeah, I remember too. He used to have that joke, be like, they had a guy who had 2 Saints tickets on his front seat, got out his car. He came back, somebody busted his glass. He looked, he had 4 Saints tickets on his seat. They didn't even want to go to the game. Like, look, I'm telling you, man, you used to be able to get Saints tickets at Swagman's grocery store. Like, some of y'all know what I'm talking about, man. I'm telling you, it was, yeah, man, you can get some Saints. Like, it was not hard to get Saints tickets, man. I'm serious, man. You can go get Saints ticket and a bag to put on your head to go watch, all in the same place. But man, am I glad that some of you don't have to deal with that or see that, man. But that just shows you how far the Saints have come. Derek Carr and Dennis Allen haters are proved of them wrong from the last 5 seasons, but we got a head coach, Kellen Moore, to help an offensive lineman with Tyler Shuck if our team are to get their rhythm again. Well, look, they both Derek Carr and Dennis Allen were not what the Saints needed as they were going through the transitional process, post Sean Payton and Drew Brees. Like, if you want to get a fan base excited, those two guys are not the guys to do it, with all due respect. Right? I mean, not the most charismatic bunch, if you will, right? I mean, just don't really like incite any type of excitement, right? Even like the interviews, for the most part, press conferences sound like a funeral, like no enthusiasm. Like it was and look, I think that Dennis Allen is a really good coach defensively. I really do, but the Saints organization, the fans, they needed something a little bit more exciting. Like, they needed electricity. Like, if look, it's like, okay, think about your favorite team, right? Basketball team. Growing up, everybody used to like the Bulls and Jordan for the most part, right? Now just think about this. Michael Jordan. I mean, face of the NBA, like, man, finals MVP. I want to be like Mike. All these different, like, just think about that, right? The excitement that Michael Jordan brought to a basketball court and fans watching this. Then all of a sudden, you be like, okay, man, I'm about to leave. You know what I'm saying? We Michael Jordan retired. Now our star player is Jason Caffey. If you don't know Jason Caffey, look it up. Like, Jason Caffey wasn't bad, okay, but I mean, he was pretty straight at Connecticut, at UConn, but he ain't Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't have the charisma, right? I mean, he wasn't putting up 20, 25, going off of 50 when necessary, leading the Bulls to the finals. That just wasn't happening, right? So you go from Jordan to Caffey, that ain't it, right? You need something like, if the Bulls would have went at the time, if he was coming out of college, if they went from Jordan to Derrick Rose, now you're talking about something, because Derrick Rose, before he started getting injured, was a beast. But we're talking about two guys who have generated the most success in franchise history. The coach and the quarterback, both leaving around the same time, and we're talking about bringing in a guy who has the charisma of a vacuum, and a quarterback that, to me, is just a tryhard. Like, I'll be anything you need me to be, right? Just to put a smile on somebody's face. Like, what you want me to be? What you need me to be? That wasn't what was needed. Like, you need to you need to turn the page. You need to give Saints fans something that they have never seen before. Like, you like, you had to. Like, it is hard to be the man after the man, right? It's easier in Tyler Shuck's position to be the man after the man after the man. But the New Orleans Saints, they kind of dropped the ball on that. And I thought that it was extremely arrogant. I thought it was extremely arrogant that they just felt like they were just going to be able to pick up where they left off, putting Dennis Allen in the place of Sean Payton and putting Derek Carr in the place of Drew Brees. Like, nah, bruh. That's like the Harriet Winslow that played Harriet on the last season of Family Matters or something. You know what I'm saying? A light-skinned Aunt Viv. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same, right? I mean, they did all right, you know what I'm saying? But look, they wasn't the original Aunt Viv, right? They wasn't the original Harriet Winslow. I mean, like, people know this. Like, people know that this wasn't the ones that we looked at for hope. It was synonymous with the role. TJ, you got to play Who That Ain't Buying It. We're gonna play that on our way out. We're gonna play that on our way out, man. Let's see. Nobody was replacing the OG Harriet. No, absolutely not. Carr was not the man. Derek Carr is a very good person, human being from what I see. Family, like, putting God first in his life, all the things that you would like to see in a human being. But I really just feel like he was a tryhard. And I think that was the one thing that was his detriment. I just looked at it like, man, this is not gonna work. I knew it very early because like I said, man, it just, man, you gotta show New Orleans that you are with him. Like you gotta show Saints fans that you with them. Like they can smell a phony a mile away. They can smell a phony a mile away, man. They can. Like if you phony or disingenuous, like they gonna sniff that out quick. So you better be genuine and true. And they're gonna be like, all right, man. Like when you start doing some things, they're like, all right, let's see what this is gonna be. They're gonna give you a chance. And eventually you start to like show love to the city, they're gonna show it right back to you. TJ, I think one of the most non-football related things Shuck has done is ingratiate himself into the community, and more than that, it doesn't feel forced or inauthentic. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why it works. That's the reason why it works, because he is being himself. Like, there's nothing about Tyler Shuck that looks as if he's just doing this, and he wouldn't be doing this, like it just seems like, okay, man, he's not playing a role. Now this is like he's being himself. So that's one thing that you got going for you. TJ, give us one thing the Saints can't do this season if they want to win. Be injured consistently. If they can keep the injuries under control, like guys are going to get hurt. That just comes with the territory. But if they can keep the injuries under control to a point where guys are not missing a substantial amount of time, the Saints should be in the mix, and they should win some games this season. So, yeah, it would be that. Like, guys got to stay healthy. Yeah, they got talent. They got talent, but got to be able to go out there and got to be able to perform and got to be able to have your best players available more so than not. But thank you so much for checking out this episode of the Straight Up TJ podcast. Really do appreciate it. Much love to you. I ask that you please, pretty please, subscribe to the channel, Straight Up TJ, and also subscribe to the Sleeper Saints podcast channel. Shouts out to everybody that has subscribed to the channel. We do videos and shorts. We're going to be, covering the New Orleans Saints on that channel. And if you're a New Orleans Saints fan, if you love Saints football, please subscribe to the channel. Put out a episode a few days ago, focusing on Tyler Shuck, him being pretty much, looked at among the national media as somebody that's probably not going to do that much this season. I gave my opinion about that, and we talked a little bit about that. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure that you send your questions, your Saints questions, to stateofthesaints@gmail.com. We have the Who Dat Nation mailbag over on the Sleeper Saints podcast, where I read questions from Saints fans, and shouts out to those that have sent in their questions and been a part of the show. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, help that channel to grow. We're growing, slowly but surely over there. So thank you all for your support. All right, but if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on X at TJAYwe Jones 8. Hopefully, I didn't put everybody to sleep on this episode. Hopefully, you had a good time. Hopefully, you enjoyed yourself. As you can see, we're a pretty interactive podcast. So if you want to be a part of the engagement, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. We'll roll up out of here with the plane of Who That Ain't Buying It. For those that haven't checked it out, this is a song by Alvin Kamara, being with the New Orleans Saints. And as we can see, it's still going to be it's going to take place still in 2026, AK still on the sidelines in the black and gold. Till next time, I'll see you down the road. And all my Saints fans out there, all I got to say is, who that?
Who that? Who that ain't buying it? Who that ain't buying it? Yeah. Who that ain't buying it? No, they ain't feeling that. Jeff wrote another one, fans looking like, what's the deal with that? Tried to paint Kamara like he watched, we ain't hearing that. Put him back in space, watch him shake, watch him kill him fast. Screens disappear, wheel routes gone where the motion at. Running them up middle like he Henry, that ain't where he at. AK still got magic, better use him where the field is vast. Saints fans know the truth, we ain't falling for the Duncan draft. Jeff Duncan dropped a piece, now the city got opinions talking. Move on from Kamara, fans saying he tripping. You can't blame the player when the play calling been missing. Had a cheat code in the backfield, now they use him like he basic. When he first came through, he was catching in the flats. Linebackers frozen, he was gone before they tapped. Wheel route up the sideline, screen pass with the blocks. Now they slam him in the A-gap like he built a movable box. That ain't AK's lane, that ain't how he made his name. He need daylight misdirection, let him cook inside the game. While we acting like the talent left, the use has been insane. Same old story, different star, fans peeping that. Who that ain't buying it, no, they ain't feeling that. Jeff wrote another one, fans looking like, what's the deal with that? Tried to paint Kamara like he watched, we ain't hearing that. Put him back in space, watch him shake, watch him kill him fast. Screens disappear, wheel routes gone where the motion at. Running them up middle like he Henry, that ain't where he at. AK still got magic, better use him where the field is vast. Saints fans know the truth, we ain't falling for the Duncan drafts. They remember Mike Thomas, yeah, they seen this before. Same pin, same angle, tryna push him out the door. Fans ain't rocking with it, they been keeping up the score. Like why every time I start down, you gon' twist it even more. This feel like a hit piece, that's what they saying in the streets. From the dome to the timeline, everybody got receipts. Kamara ain't the problem, man, the scheme got him asleep. You don't park a foreign car, then complain it ain't cheap. Give him option routes, motion linebackers in the bind. Let him catch it on the move, not collide with the line. He ain't Derrick Henry, stop pretending that's the design. He a joystick with the vision, let him work and let him shine. Who that nation loud, they ain't quiet with the facts. They seen AK carry, they ain't turning on fast. Before you say he done, better check how he been tasked. A weapon out of rhythm, still a weapon with a chain. Hey, they ain't feeling that. Jeff wrote another one, fans looking like, what's the deal with that? Tried to paint Kamara like he watched, we ain't hearing that. Put him back in space, watch him shake, watch him kill him fast. Screens disappear, wheel routes gone where the motion at. Up middle like he Henry, that ain't where he at. AK still got magic, better use him where the field is vast. Saints fans know the truth, we ain't falling for the Duncan draft. TJ. Yeah. Straight up. Let's go. Welcome to Straight Up TJ. Tap in, sit back, press replay. Been locked in with the Saints on a weekday. Now we talk every sport, every big play. Years on the grind, now we level up the view. From the dome to the world, get a better look at you. No script, just truth when we break it down. Barbershop talk, but we broadcast it loud. Welcome to Straight Up TJ. Straight up. Fresh takes every time a beat play. This ain't your everyday sports cliche. We talk real talk now, what the streets say. Welcome to Straight Up TJ. New wave every week, let it replay. From the Saints to the whole game each day. You tapped in with the truth. Straight Up TJ. Real time talk, yeah, you know that it's live. From the draft to the deals, how the stars really thrive. From the court to the field to the big stage. We gon' cover every angle like a back page. No cap, no spin, just a clear take. If it's weak, we gon' say it, let the fear break. From the city that believe when the odds stack, TJ got the whole sports world in the group. Straight Up TJ. Straight up. Fresh takes every time a beat play. This ain't your everyday sports cliche. We talk real talk now, what the streets say.
I see some of y'all ain't going, y'all vibing. I hear you, I see.
Every week, let it replay. From the Saints to the whole game each day. You tapped in with the truth. Straight Up TJ. TJ Jones, turn it up, let it ride. Straight Up TJ.
Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button on your way out.
New chapter,
hey,
same grind,
same
name.
Hey.
Hit play, pull up. Join the gang.